AreaSports.net proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch, one of the area's longest-running local sports talk shows, featuring interviews with area coaches, athletes, and other media personnel covering the sports in our area. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch starts now. And welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch. I'm your host, Randy Olson, and today we're going to talk track and field and cross country with one of the premier runners in Southern Illinois, and she's from a little town down in Pope County called Golconda, Pope County High School, the home of the Pirates, and that is Ahry Comer, and she was just crowned as the state champion in the 400-meter run at the Class 1A State Track and Field Championships at Eastern Illinois University in Charleston, and she got second place in the 800-meter run, and she's on the phone with us today right now to talk about all of this. Ahry, hey, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's just a pleasure to talk to you, and you have just wrapped up an incredible, stellar career there at Pope County High School, both in cross country and in track and field, and you're going to be moving on to a major university to keep doing what you love to do, and we'll get into some of that in just a moment, but holy cow, what a performance you had this year at the state track meet, and you got to be really proud.
Yes, I am. I'm very happy with how it went, especially in the 400. I wish my 800 could have been a little better because my PR is better than what I ended up running. But I am very happy with how I ended my high school career.
Well, you ran that in 55.19, which was just, 1/100th of a second off the state record, so that's fast.
Yes.
And some people believe that maybe your best event's really the 800-meter run, because prior to this year, you actually had won the 800-meter race in back-to-back state championships, right?
Yes. I would actually also say that the 800 is more of my best run. I just didn't have a great day with it, and I don't necessarily train a lot for the 400. The 400 just helps me get speed for the 800. But I would say that the 800 is my best event. Yeah,
okay. Well, you mentioned the word training, so let's talk about that a little bit, because at Pope County High School, for those people who don't know it, you don't even have a track at Pope County High School, do you?
No, we do not.
So all the training you do has to be, across the field or down roads or wherever, I guess, huh?
A lot of our training consists of, I run on my gravel roads out here, and sometimes I have treadmill workouts that I do in my basement, but we actually go to, open tracks like Massac or sometimes Harrisburg or something to do our trainings because we don't have one to do it on. That is just amazing. And I got to ask you this question, of course. How did you get interested in track, and what made you want to run cross-country and track? When I was in 5th grade, I played every sport that our school offered, and one of them was cross-country, and I had a little bit of talent at it. So my freshman year of high school, we kind of got in contact with a coach that would do some training for me and my brother for cross-country, and then I ended up getting hurt my freshman year, and then we were talking to, a lot of people, and they were like, well, if you want to go to college for running, a lot of it is within track. That's where you'll get your scholarship, and that's where colleges will see you, because cross-country is just so diverse on, courses and distances and, everything. It's hard to, pick someone because of their cross-country times. So track is where we were really going to see, if I could go to college for running. So my parents went to the school board at our school and asked if they could start a track team, and that's kind of what happened. That's how we went from there. We don't really have many runners. A lot of them don't show up some of the time when they sign up, but it was mostly just started for me and my brother, but now it's continuing at Pope County. Yeah, that's just amazing. You start a track program, and you don't even have a track at Pope County High School, but you guys were determined to do it, and you did. Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm definitely glad we did. It's a lot more fun than cross-country, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cross-country, and you mentioned grade school, how you got interested in it in 5th grade, and you found out you had a pretty good talent at it. You actually we're the junior high state cross-country champion through the Southern Illinois Junior High School Athletic Association. I guess that was your 8th grade year in what, 2019, or was that your 7th grade year?
It was my 8th grade in 2019. I got second my 7th grade year.
Wow, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So then when you did that, and then you continue to do this in high school, and again, practicing and working out without a track, when did you decide to start working on, and how did you know that you could excel at the 400-meter and the 800-meter run? Because that's a shorter distance than what cross-country course is.
Well, I really don't. I enjoy cross-country in high school, but I really am not as good or don't do as well or feel like I don't do as well at longer distances like cross-country, even the 3,200 in track. But kind of how I got into that, we switched over trainers, like new coaches, because our coach that we had for cross-country didn't know anything about track. So we were with this guy out of Colorado. He like sets up our training plans for us, and I don't remember necessarily how I got into it. I knew that I always ran like the 32, the 16, and the 800 for track, just because we didn't know what I was going to be good at my sophomore year. And I just went to sectionals and ended up running like all of those to qualify for state. And then my first prelim my sophomore year, I ran a 2:14 in the 800, and that's kind of where I started to excel at the 800 and run it more often, because that was the best time I had, like compared to like the other races, for like people to look at. So that's kind of where I took off on that. And then my junior year, my coach was like, you need to run the 400 some to get some more 800 speed. So that's where I started from there with that, and I ended up running like a 59 the first time I ran it. I've never ran above a 1 minute, so I ran that, and then I ended up being like first or second in 1A, and that's why we decided to run it at the state meet my junior year, and I've just kind of took off with those races ever since.
Wow, that is amazing. Well, we've talked about how successful you've been at the state championship level, winning back-to-back state championships in the 800-meter at your sophomore and junior year, and then you got second place this year in the 800, and then you won the state championship in the 400 this year. But it's not just at the state level here in Illinois that you run. You go all around the country and run, don't you? I've seen some pictures of you running at an event called the New Balance Nationals, and I believe the time that you got at the New Balance Nationals was actually faster than the time you ran at the state meet last week, right?
Yes, it was. I ran a 2:11 at New Balance Nationals and a 2:12 at the state meet that we just had. Yeah, running has really taken me everywhere. I've been all over the country for running. I went to California this year, too, and after, the season's already over, but I will be going to some more races that are a little bit farther away as well before I completely wrap up my high school career.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting. Well, obviously, you had a lot of opportunities and a lot of colleges to select from when it came time to determine where you were going to go run at the next level. And we're talking about Division I colleges, and we're talking about some big ones. And I assume they were probably trying to recruit you and came after you. And we're talking about schools like Kentucky and Indiana and Oklahoma State University and LSU. And ultimately, you made the choice to attend LSU next year. So talk about that process of being recruited.
It definitely was a very stressful and fun process at the same time. I had a little calendar that I would carry everywhere to schedule phone calls and visits. And I remember being so excited when I would have phone calls, but I would have like 4 or 5 phone calls like every day for like a few months, and it was very stressful just because I didn't know what I was looking for in a college or anything like that. But we ended up visiting a lot of colleges, and I ended up doing official visits at Kentucky, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Indiana, and LSU. Those were like, because I was talking to a lot of people, but I ended up narrowing it down to those 5 is where I wanted to do official visits at, because those are more than one day. I went on a few visits close to us and far away that weren't official visits. They were unofficial, and we were there for like a few hours to a day. But I chose LSU just because I really loved it there. The people were great. I have some family down there, but Oklahoma State was a close second. They were a lot like LSU in the aspect of like the team culture and everything. So it was a very hard decision, but it was also a very stressful process of having to schedule things and kind of making a very hard decision when you're young and not really knowing what you want.
That's really neat. Well, I know that your mother has to be extremely proud of you. I know you lost your father at a young age. I think you were about 3 years old then, and he certainly would be proud of you if he was here today. And then you've got a twin brother, right? His name is Eason, is that right?
Yes.
And, of course, he's going to be going on to college himself, and he got a scholarship, I believe, to Western Illinois University. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's exciting that both of you are going on to the next level. But, yeah, I'm sure that they were involved in kind of this process, this recruiting thing, too, because you had so many text messages and phone calls coming, and it's probably been pretty exciting around your house, I'd say.
Yes, it has been. We're actually leaving for his state track meet here in a few minutes.
That is cool. That is great. Well, I hope that Eason does real well there and wish him the best on his career move, too. You mentioned you had interest in other sports. I know you played basketball this year for the Lady Pirates, and you guys had a great, successful season for Pope County in basketball, didn't you?
Yes, we did. I also played softball this year.
Oh, awesome. That's great. That's awesome. You've got kind of a signature trademark that you wear whenever somebody sees you out running. You wear some bright-colored socks. I've seen some pictures of you in pink-colored socks and maybe some bright yellow or orange or something. You want to talk about that?
Yes. I started wearing those my freshman year. They're compression socks, so they help with like blood flow in your legs while you're running. And I started wearing those. I thought they felt good, and I liked that they were bright pink and they were kind of like funky to people. So I started wearing them, and then I would not wear them one race. My parents would be like, "We couldn't find you," or something like that, especially if it was a big race with a lot of competition. So I've kind of stuck to wearing it just so my parents could find me. Because I didn't wear them in the race in I don't wear them for a lot of big track races, but I didn't wear them in California this year whenever we went for the Arcadia meet, and I had people on Facebook asking me why I didn't wear them and that they couldn't find me in the race for a while. So that's really why I wear them.
Yeah, that's a cool story. It really is. And not only that, the fact that when you're in the cross-country season, sometimes it gets kind of cold, so those extra socks kind of help, don't they?
Yes, I definitely think it does help during cross-country since the weather is usually very cold.
Right. Well, we mentioned that you were state champion this year in the 400-meter at the state track meet, and you were back-to-back state champions in the 800-meter the last 2 years prior to this year, and you got second place this year. I need to mention, too, that I believe you were 8th place in the state cross-country meet this year, correct?
I was 8th or 9th. Mm-hmm. You may be right on that. I might have been – no. Okay, I might have been 11th this year. The year before, I was like 7th or something like that. But I might have been, I think I was 11th this year.
Maybe it was 8th last year. I thought I had looked it up and thought I saw that you were 8th, but maybe that was when you were junior year. But nonetheless, you're very successful even at those longer distances, even though you said that the 800 you feel like is kind of your niche place.
Yes. Yeah. I just looked. It was 11th this year. It was 7th or 8th last year, but I definitely do not enjoy cross-country as much as I do track. I do not like racing it as much.
Yeah. Now, when you went to the state track meet this year for Pope County, was there any other team members that were there running or competing at the state level for Pope County, or was it just you?
No, it was just me. We had 2 people compete at sectionals with us. It was just me and 2 other girls on our team this year. Mm-hmm. But no, it was just me there with my family. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother were the only ones that qualified for state.
Yeah, so when somebody looks up the team score for Pope County this year in the girls' state track field championships, all those points scored by Pope County were scored by you.
Yes, they were.
That's pretty impressive, Ahry. It really is.
Thank you.
That is great. Well, when you go to LSU, besides running, what do you hope to major in? What's your career aspirations?
I will be majoring in exercise science.
Awesome.
I hope to go on to get my doctorate degree in chiropractics.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, that's good aspirations to have, and I have no doubt that that you are going to be successful. So, hey, we appreciate your time today. Anything else you want to touch upon that we've not covered?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, again, we wish your brother Eason good luck too as he moves on not only in the state track meet but also as he goes into college himself at Western Illinois University. And I hope that maybe we can touch bases with you down the road in a year or so as you get settled into college here at LSU, and we can kind of keep our listeners and our viewers up to date as to how it's going for you at the college level. So I look forward to perhaps talking to you down the line. Is that okay?
Yes, definitely. I think that'd be a great idea.
All right. Sounds great. All right. Thanks again for your time today, and enjoy it this weekend at the state meet for the boys, okay?
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
You bet. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.